We're going to talk today about clear aspects. We use these categories, not that there couldn't be purple or red or blue or any other colors. We use this to help you to understand that there's some aspects that carry little or no imbalance. These clear aspects are created on a regular basis. They go out in service to you. They generally perform very routine tasks. Sometimes they can get a bit unbalanced, their energy getting a little off kilter, but they have a very natural way of returning back to you, coming back into balance. There's all sorts of clear aspects out there in this first category of performing regular day-to-day service for you. Driving a car. You have a driver aspect that you assigned a long time ago. That driver aspect goes to work the moment you put the key in the car, and then it does what it needs to do. You don't have to consciously think about turning on the blinker, for those who still do that. You don't even have to look at a map for the most part, because that aspect of you knows how to get to work, go to the store, you get in the car, you don't have to worry about how the engine operates, you don't think about how the gasoline or petroleum explodes in the engine, which drives the crankshaft, which turns the wheels. You see, that would be so consuming. You were brilliant. You created a thing called aspects to take care of this everyday task. You have passions that you, of things that you love to do, that you're good at. You might be very good at working out, exercising. So you send that aspect in to do its thing, and you're good at it. This frees you up, again, for more creative thoughts or higher level thoughts. You have an aspect of you that loves movies. It knows how to watch a movie. Now, you would think this is pretty basic, but an aspect is trained to put on the movie on your television or whatever device that you have. You go into the relaxing mode. That aspect helps you to relax. You don't have to worry about any of the details. You go into a type of mode. Part of you is watching the movie. The aspect is managing that process, while the other part of you can daydream, can go off into other realms, can work on resolving other issues in your life, or it can just be a time of lowering kind of the chaos, quieting the body and the mind for the natural rejuvenation process. You have a multitude of clear aspects that go out serving you. They come back then, integrated into you. Sometimes they bring a grander wisdom and experience. Sometimes they are just there to perform the day-to-day tasks so that your new and emerging aspects, your creative aspects, your multidimensional aspects are free to go off in a grand and big way, knowing that the day-to-day clear human aspects are taking care of business. The gray aspects make up the vast majority of the issues that you have in your life. While so much of your life is clear, it's being handled by these very clear aspects, your attention gets focused on the gray, the vast majority. Gray aspects tend to be phobias and fears. They are generally set in place, usually by one incident that happens in your lifetime, or perhaps from another lifetime. But set in place, and the energy becomes frozen, or it becomes in a very fearful way. There is a mistrust now between you, the human identity, and that aspect. So you have a gray aspect that is worried about your looks, physical appearance. Maybe you don't feel as beautiful on the outside as you think you should, or maybe you feel you're getting older. So you create a gray aspect now because you didn't love yourself. You've separated that part from you and put it out somewhere else. Partly so you could take a look at it. How are you feeling about you? How are you judging you? But you also put it out there because you didn't want to accept it about yourself. The gray aspect has a life and a creation of its own. In other words, it continues to act that out. So it will find life experiences and life circumstances to perpetuate that identity. Many of you have gray aspects when it comes to relationships. You went into a relationship when you were young, filled with dreams and hopes and all of these other things, but you're also filled with other aspects, your partner's aspects, sexual energy virus, and all these other things. And along came your first big argument with the love of your life, and it shattered you. It broke a trust that created a gray aspects. Oh, you got out of that old relationship all right, but now you have difficulty entering into another one because that gray aspect is saying, what if, what if, what if? So often you ask me, well, Tobias, I want to be a creator, but it just doesn't seem to work out. I chose wealth, and I'm still broke. Take a look at your aspects. You could very likely have an aspect out there, carry over from a past life or a failure in this life. There's now a gray financial aspect. It could have been caused by a vow you took thousands of years ago, a vow of poverty that's still there. Vows are gray aspects, period. Any vow, any lifetime. You can look in every area of your life, from your health to your wealth, to your spirituality. To so many of you say that you can't, you're no good at building things, at construction or anything that has to do with building something. You say that you're no good at music. You can't do anything creative. Whatever it is, you've created a gray aspect out there, and now you're trying to maneuver your life around these like they were icebergs in the ocean, trying to avoid them, hide from them. Your life gets very limited and very restricted. The creator energy is actually going to the maintenance of your gray aspects, tied up in that. And when you are so bold and conscious as to say, yes, I would like to now be a creator, oftentimes it's negated by gray aspects, overridden by the gray aspects, or the energy that would normally be used in the creation process in this reality is consumed by the gray aspects. These gray aspects, they're not so stuck. They're stubborn at times. They're kind of stupid at times, but they're truly want to come back home. They don't want to be out there anymore. They're like a child who might have gotten a scolding from a parent and run off to hide and to cry a little bit. But what does that child really want? My child really wants some acknowledgement. Child wants the empty, the house where they can come back to. They want that safe space where they can return home. The manipulation of the dark aspects. First of all, as Tobias said, they want something you have. They don't. And they don't think you deserve it. Your soul. They think you're too weak or indecisive. They don't think you're worthy of having a soul, and they want it. Now, ultimately, they really can't get it because they're just aspects of you. It's your dark energies. It's all the things you've loathed about yourself. It's your wounds. It's your anger and hatred and frustration. It's the things that you've been running away from and hiding. The darkness is an accumulation of very wounded, very hurt energies over long, long periods of time. You have a variety of different dark aspects, and everyone does. Nobody here, nobody listening to this is exempt. The dark aspects do not like each other. They do not work with each other. They do not work with the other aspects. They are demanding, they are insulting, and they are very, very controlling. They're angry. They're wounded. Many of them have been told a lie and put to bed. In other words, disacknowledged, pushed away. And you've closed that door, made a veil so that you didn't have to look at them. You didn't have to see them. You feel their presence come in, and so often in your dream state, you feel them come very, very closely. You feel their frustration, their darkness, and their loathing. And the moment you feel it, you close that door once again. You slam it shut and you run and you pretend that it's not yours. Can you imagine what this does for a broken, hurt, and wounded aspect? For you to run off, to give them no attention, to give them no love, it makes them angrier. And it makes them more sure that you are not the one who should be calling back the aspects. You are not the one who is accepting the responsibility of being boss. It makes them think they should be doing this. They don't trust you. They don't believe you. They don't love you. But an odd thing is, at a very deep level, no matter how dark that aspect is, there is a spark of light, a remembrance of the source, which is you and your soul. And that part, no matter how small it is within them, that part wants to come home.